What's going on, everyone? It's the Niskel. Welcome back to Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. Before we start back into the Dead Factory, I want to bring up something that happened in the last episode, and it had to do with Gravedigger. A couple of you pointed out some things that I may or may not have overlooked, the first of which being, how many poles do you need to actually fry the Gravedigger? I have done it both ways, with both poles and one pole. So, I believe one of you said you needed both poles. I have been able to kill it with just one. I went back through my old footage and found that I did kill it with one. Another one of you said that there are hunters in Dead Factory. I'm aware. But another thing that has to do with the Gravedigger is aiming on the poles. I went into the configuration, tried out the different buttons, and the same button to trigger onto something else that's worth noting, which would be the L button in my configuration, did not auto-target the poles. So, maybe it was a fluke, maybe not. I just know hunters still suck. And just the fact that I can't aim onto the barrel here, I believe it follows the same rules as the poles when fighting the Gravedigger. So unfortunately, no auto-aiming. This is a terrible idea in hindsight, just using the mine thrower in the first place. And I honestly don't care if I waste ammo for it at this point. Ooh, that was a kill shot. I would have been dead. Oh, I've gotten so used to hunters giving me kill shots, and that was indeed one of them. Not today, Hunter. Maybe next time. The mine thrower's picky. You notice it's letting me know, it's giving me that warning saying, hey, if there's any mines out there, you're gonna lose them. Well, even after you're done using an entire clip of mine darts, it still tells you that. There is no reason why it should. We won't be using the mine thrower very much. I mainly want to use it to clear out the zombies that are around here. And this place is nasty. And have any of you noticed that every Resident Evil game so far that I have Let's Played ends in kind of a factory kind of place? It's either a secret lab or a factory. Resident Evil 0 ended with both, pretty much. Resident Evil Remake was a laboratory. Resident Evil 2, something like a factory. I guess this is the horror movie cliche they wanted to go with? Still plenty of squishy zombies to kill. And I love that the mine thrower just blows them to pieces. Even though they might still walk after the fact, they've either lost their head or their arms or something or other. They're gonna die in one mine dart. Except for that guy who didn't die in one mine dart. How dare you prove me wrong as I'm saying something? So 1 to 2 mine darts, apparently. That guy was good with only one arm. Got to keep his head. Ooh, brand new installation. I wonder what they installed. About the time this game is supposed to take place, it might be Windows 95! Ah! We have to do 2 things to get into that door, the first of which was the water purification puzzle. That was the first thing we had to do to get that first lock. The second of which is another interesting puzzle. And I call it interesting because it's just pushing a bunch of switches. That's all it is, but you need to get it into the right formation to where you can advance and you don't get stuck. Ooh, the Dead Factory. Not much to it, surprisingly. This being the final segment of the game, you'd figure there'd be a lot more to this entirety of a factory that we have to run through.
Nikolai?
Aha, Nikolai still running around, alive and well, and still wants to kill me for some reason. If you went with the opposite choice when facing Nemesis on the bridge, this is actually where you'll end up. This entire area, just to show you, right outside here is the bridge. So that's kind of cool. Basically, depending on which choice you have with Nemesis on the bridge, that depends on which puzzle you end up doing first. You still have to do the water purification puzzle, unfortunately, but you don't have to do it first. In fact, I would rather a first-time player come to this route first, just to save on time. Now, kind of the bad thing about this is, as soon as I came in here... Yeah, that was a dumb move. I shouldn't have shot that thing with a mine dart, because those things latch onto you, and mine darts, I should remind you, deal damage to the player. Oh god, I hate these things. If you also did the alternate choice with Nemesis on the bridge, there will be something that is happening here. I'll show that at the end of the video. It's pretty much the events get jumbled around a bit. And yet it still happens at the same time as, like, the game's timeline. You'll see what I mean. Who would have thought, basically a giant factory made to be a big garbage can for Raccoon City would be the final place? I can't get rid of the bodies. I need to find a hill, preferably one that's very quiet. This is the thing you want first. This is mainly why I say if you're going to fight Nemesis on the bridge, push him off, don't jump down, because this card needs to be tampered with in order to go to a special surprise around the end of the game. So getting it here first, it cuts down on a lot of time. In fact, if you choose the alternate choice, and I know I keep talking about what happens at the end of the game, but that bridge scene changes everything, including one of the alternate choices you can make and your entire ending. So that's why I keep bringing it up. And here is a good chance to get Magnum rounds. This was another comment I got saying, you really need to get Magnum rounds, you gotta fight some stuff at the end of the game. I'm aware of that. I was waiting for this. Can't wait to get Magnum rounds again. It's been forever since I've used the Magnum. As far as the placement of items in this area, same rule applies as the rest of the game. If you don't see it here, it'll be in a different area. As a matter of fact, if you don't find the gunpowder in here, they will be where the water purification puzzle is. We have enough Magnum rounds for the rest of the game. I will be strictly honest. This part of the game is so short. And if you chose the alternate scene, it is even shorter. It is insane how much we have left of this game. It'll be done by next episode. Yeah, I think that'll work. We got shotgun shells, we have plenty of grenade rounds for our grenade launcher, which is very good. Probably won't need a handgun for the rest of the game. I think we're just going to go heavy artillery for the remainder of the game. Get rid of the stupid mine thrower. Can't believe it deals splash damage to you. I mean, it makes sense in real-life context, but come on, work with me here. We're raring to go. Just in case you need it, there is an ink ribbon and a typewriter there. I don't know if you would want to save or not, but I will say this. The enemies you have to fight in the hallways are more dangerous than the bosses. You got hunters, you got bugs, you got naked zombies at certain points, which are 2 times tougher than regular zombies. So just have ammo ready. And I'm only saying that because in one of my other recordings, I got through all the bosses fine, but a hunter killed me. Go figure. This is kind of an interesting puzzle. If you pay close attention, there was a vent going on the opposite end of where I am now. That's where you want to go. You want to make it so that the steam is not coming out on this side. Press the buttons over here that are being blocked off, and then go all the way back. The only reason you're doing this is just to be able to have that happen. If both of these are going on at the same time, you're perfect. This is how you get through it. Then you push this button and there you go. Both of them are done. We can activate this. So not exactly a puzzle, more like a bunch of back and forth just to make sure you can get through. But the hilarious part is, you still have to go through all of these things of steam. Not fun. And now that we're done with that... Should I save or should I... Yeah. At this point, as soon as you've unlocked that door, save. For one, you have a boss fight, so kind of obvious. You always want to save before bosses. And two, this boss, it's really interesting because the monster you're fighting, it's been dumbed down, but it's still really tough. And that's the fun part about this fight. I really like this fight. I need to make sure I've got everything. At least one healing item should do you. There's no real proper way to fight this boss. Just shoot it a lot and kill it quick. I really wish there wasn't a punishment with lack of ammo, because I just wanted to continuously shoot that thing until it was in a nice paste on the floor. I really do hate those things. Moment of truth. Here we go. I know how we can transport the monster. Stick it in liquid nitrogen. Perfect. Then thaw it out later, and it's in perfect condition.
Warning. Proceeding with operation in treatment room. Please evacuate immediately. Stars. Stars.
Nemesis is back, and now you have to beat him within a time limit. This Nemesis, he is still tough, but the game kind of gives you a little bit of a break. He's down to one tentacle, but that doesn't mean he's a pushover. He can still whip you to deal massive damage, he can still grab you and pull you closer, but the main thing this boss fight wants you to do, because you're on a time limit, because you're on a time crunch, it wants you to activate these. These things will spit acid at Nemesis. But just be wary. His AI is still good. So, let's say for example, if you wanted the best scenario, and I can't believe I lined this up correctly, when he goes down, activate the acid, and burn him. What this is doing, if you hit him enough with the acid, he will lose body parts. In fact, he's already lost an arm. And it will get to the point where he can either lose his head, but I don't think he will ever lose that right arm with the tentacle. That's his main way of actually hurting you. So he can actually lose his head, and it's really funny what happens when he doesn't have a head, because he will just run around aimlessly and try to attack nothing, which will give you ample time to kill him. So if you wanted best case scenario, melt him enough so that his head comes off. I'm not kidding. This is like Looney Tunes logic that I'm going here. Oh, did I get him? I still got him! That's awesome! Oh, oops. I'm panicking. Because I really want to kill him. And do be wary, If you do get hurt just a couple times, chances are you're going to be on yellow caution. He deals so much damage, even though it doesn't look like it. So just pay attention. Nemesis still hurts. Did he lose his head? He might have lost his head. Ah, he did! Nemesis lost his head! Yeah, look at that. He barely... The only way he knew I was there is when he touched me. Aw, come on, Nemesis, baby. You're a terrifying monster. People run in fear when they see you. And now I can run circles around you and you wouldn't even know it. It is getting closer to quitting time here. I need to get out of here before that timer reaches 0 or else I'm dead. Maybe one more shot? One more quick shot should kill him. I'd be surprised if that wasn't the thing that did him in. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Yeah, let's try it. Nope. Oh, there we go. And with that, Nemesis is dead. He is dead for good. He no longer has a head, he doesn't have another arm, he's not going anywhere. He is gone forever. We've locked the door, but please, evacuate immediately. How? You locked the door!
Warning. Missile attack confirmed. All personnel evacuate immediately.
Good, this is the Resident Evil I know. It would not be a Resident Evil game if the entire complex where you beat the final boss, wasn't going to explode. So, panic time. This entire place is going to blow. Oh, nice little detail. That's where Nemesis ended up. And now you have to deal with naked zombies. As I said, they deal twice as much damage as regular zombies, and they take twice as many hits. But if you have the sawed-off shotgun, nothing to it. I suppose I should go into this now because we're just going to be doing a little bit of backtracking just to get one specific item. But killing Nemesis, the rewards that you get. In this playthrough, I am only getting 6 out of the 7. And there's a reason for that. Because I did not fight Nemesis the very first time we saw him and beat him, that was the item I was missing. It just dawned on me that that was the only fight I was missing. Everything else was done correctly except for defeating him in that one fight. If I had brought the knife with me, it would have been close, it would have been really difficult, but that's how you would have gotten it. But the last item you get for defeating Nemesis is infinite ammo for one weapon. You can combine it with any weapon and it will have infinite ammo for the rest of the game. Which means, when you beat Nemesis in the clock tower, where I got the second first aid spray box, you would have gotten infinite ammo for any one of your weapons. Just combine it and there you go. But the main reason we came here is to put this key in here, rewrite the card, and now we can actually use this facility key. The key had no purpose. The card on it does. There are a couple places that you can unlock when you have this, when you have both of these cards, actually. If you have the red card, first of all, you can get out of the boss fight with Nemesis, but the second place you can go to is actually here, where we did the second lock, with all the steam and everywhere. Right here, this elevator had a card reader. You want to come here. Don't worry, you're not on some hidden timer. This place isn't going to blow up when you're randomly going through the hallway. But if you want to be prepared for the final fight, come down here. You get 2 packs of grenade rounds, but that's not all. The reason we rewrote that card was for another, special item. Come over here, you find a weapons locker. A little plastic card? I think I have something like that. And inside Again, it wouldn't be a Resident Evil game if one of the final weapons you got was not a rocket launcher. So cool. Rocket launcher with 4 shots, place is about to blow up. I think this is a very official Resident Evil game. Forget calling it a spin-off game, this is totally Resident Evil, main series. Why does it always end with a rocket launcher? I guess Capcom wants to give you that good feeling that you blew up the big bad with heavy artillery. But that's all we were going to do. Next time on Resident Evil 3, we're going to finish the game. I'm going to get all ready for war. This is going to be great. The last final moments of Resident Evil 3 are really, really good. But before we do that, I'm actually going to show you what happens when you push Nemesis off the bridge and what happens when you get into the lab. Lab, factory, whatever you want to call it. See you, Nemesis! Automatically, you will run straight into Dead Factory, and you'll notice something has changed. Because when we walked in here during my playthrough, Nikolai shot at us. But here, he's nowhere to be found. This is where everything changes because Nikolai is now in a different place. And the first thing you want to do, by the way, that one door is locked, so be sure to come in here first, but...
Carlos.
Jill, listen very carefully. They're planning on launching a missile directly into the city as soon as day breaks. The explosion will be powerful enough to destroy everything.
Are you sure about that?
Positive. I heard it straight from a supervisor.
They'll go this far to cover their tracks?
Come on, we have to hurry. There isn't much time left.
Carlos tells us that we're going to die. See ya!